What happens when you transfer assets into a trust? Trusts are legal arrangements that allow individuals to transfer assets to a designated trustee for the benefit of themselves and other persons. So let's explore the process and the implications of transferring assets into trust. To begin with, establishing a trust involves selecting a trustee who will manage the trust assets and identifying the beneficiaries of the trust who will benefit from those assets. The trust document outlines the terms, conditions, and instructions for the trustee to follow. The next step is choosing the right type of trust structure to fit your needs. There are various types of trusts, such as testamentary trusts and inter vivos trust. Inter vivos trusts refers to living trusts or between living persons. The choice of trust type depends on the individual circumstances and goals. Seeking advice from a lawyer or a trust specialist is essential to determine the best structure for you. So when transferring assets into a trust, the process typically involves changing the legal ownership of the assets from the individual to the trust entity. This can include real estate, investments, cash, or other assets. Proper documentation such as deeds, assignments, or beneficiary designations may be required depending on the type of asset being transferred. One important aspect of transferring assets into a trust is understanding what the tax implications are. Generally, when you transfer assets into a trust, there is a deemed disposition of the asset at the time at which it is transferred into the trust. So the current date fair market value is going to be compared against what the acquisition cost or the adjusted cost base is of the underlying asset. The difference between the two is referred to as the capital gain. And when you transfer that asset into the trust, there's a deemed disposition. The trust will acquire it for the current present day fair market value, and you, as the transferor, will be responsible to pay for the capital gain. However, there are certain exceptions to this, particularly when you are making use of an alter ego or joint partner trust that we can discuss at another time. So what I'm really just trying to get across here is that you have to talk with a qualified tax professional to navigate through this. Trust taxation is one of the most complex areas of tax law in Canada. Other benefits of transferring assets into a trust can be asset protection. By placing assets into a trust, individuals can shield themselves from potential creditors or legal claims. However, it's important to note that asset protection strategies will only work under certain circumstances, and if you are already aware of a creditor's claim and you act to transfer an asset into a trust for the purposes of avoiding that creditor's claim, you can run into what's called a fraudulent conveyance, which is strictly prohibited by law. Once the assets are transferred into the trust, the trustee will assume the responsibility of managing and administering the trust per the terms of the trust indenture. This includes overseeing investments, distributing assets to beneficiaries according to the terms of the document, and keeping detailed records inside what's called the trust minute book. One of the advantages of establishing a trust is in the flexibility and control that it can provide. Trusts can be tailored to meet specific needs, such as succession planning, or providing for the care of minor children, or ensuring the smooth transfer of wealth across generations. This allows individuals to have a lasting impact on the management and distribution of their assets. It's important to understand that transferring assets into a trust always involves legal considerations. Working with a lawyer who specializes in trust law, it's crucial to understand that the trust document is properly drafted, all the legal requirements are met, and the intentions of the grantor or settlor are clearly stated. In conclusion, transferring assets into a trust is a strategic and complex process. Seeking professional guidance from lawyers, tax specialists, and trust experts is essential to navigate all aspects of establishing and managing a trust. By doing so, individuals can ensure that their assets are protected and distributed according to their wishes. If you have any questions about trusts, trust law, alter ego trusts, joint partner trusts, or any other type of trust, please don't hesitate to reach out and contact our lawyers at Par Business Law, and we'd be happy to discuss. Thank you.